This episode of the Nerdball Podcast is sponsored by Jake Paluski at Real JP Multimedia. He does the music for this podcast. He has produced this podcast. If you need anything audio-visual done, he is the man to see at realjp.com, REELJP.com. Let's start the show.
Hi, I'm Myles Takats. I'm a junior, and I play football and I wrestle. And this is the Nerdball Podcast.
You want to try it again?
Yeah, this is the Nerdball Podcast.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is the Nerdball Podcast with Lorenzo Melcher.
All right, Myles. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
No problem. This has actually been the first podcast I've ever been on.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You said it like you're lying.
No, I do.
Yeah. What do you like to listen to?
One Logan Paul's podcast.
Okay.
The Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
There's like a wrestling brand podcast that I listen to all the time.
Right.
And the Nerdball podcast.
Yeah?
I also listen to.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
My favorite's Jax. I like Jax.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, his was good.
Yeah.
Well, he can just talk in general because he has his own, so
Yeah.
it was good. So right now it's football season. We just had a pretty rough JV game this morning.
Yeah, not too fond about that.
No, they were some big boys though.
Oh yeah. They're huge.
Yeah.
You told me to block that 166 and he looked at me, he shook his head, he's like, nah, you ain't blocking me. I was like, my dad even asked me, he's like, what did you say? I go, what could I say? He's like, then one dude, I like blocked him. He's
Yeah.
like, bro, he's holding me, he's bear tackling me. I go, no, I didn't. He goes, bro, shut up, I'll shoot you. I was like, dude, calm down. I'm just
It's JV, man.
Yeah,
It's JV.
it's a JV game. I'm trying to block you. It's not that deep.
I did like your whether it was fake or not. I don't think it was. You're a pretty genuine guy. Your enthusiasm though,
Oh, yeah.
that's needed on those Saturday games.
Yeah. I just try to bring the energy all the time because a lot of those dudes, like, they don't really get the sense of enthusiasm. So I always try to like just bring up the energy, kind of like make it kind of be like a little bigger Kyle
Yeah.
on the field.
Yeah, Kyle is he is a ball of energy.
At the pep rally, he spoke. He was like,
Did he really?
I believe that we will
Oh,
win,
yeah,
champ."
yeah.
And juniors and seniors rush the middle of the court.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Isaac, and he started shoving. Next thing you know, we're punching each other in the stomach. I didn't know. I was all like, I had more like
Just
adrenaline.
hyped up, yeah.
I was like, then.
How was that? Because you haven't had a pep rally all last year. How was it?
Oh,
was
we
it
needed
awesome?
that.
It was so awesome.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
Because my freshman year, we kind of did it, but like obviously we're freshmen, we don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
But now that we're juniors, like, oh, we got to get hyped. Like,
Yeah.
I think like 5-6 times we had to get held back by administrators from
Really?
going on the court. Yeah, the junior, like, we literally had Mr. Boyce like standing in front of us so we wouldn't go anymore.
So when you did go at the end, where was that planned, or you just said forget it?
We just first said forget it and just rushed.
were they yelling at you guys?
Yeah, they were like, get back, and we just started like jumping. And
Too
like,
hype.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. That was that, and I remember my siblings telling me like, why are you going so crazy? Because they're freshmen, they don't understand.
Oh, okay.
And Josh was like, I was like just sitting there, like I clapped a couple times, but yeah, I was like, did you see me? He's like, yeah, you, Winton, AJ Parrish were just like jumping, slapping each other. I don't know what you guys are doing down there.
So I felt that way too as a freshman. Just like you said, you don't know what's going on. You're just there because you have to be.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you get more school pride. You get more like, I want to do this, not just for the school, but for your friends and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know my freshman year, like my enthusiasm for Perry. Oh, it's just my high school. Like, it's not that big. But now it's like, oh, I go to Perrysburg High School. So, yeah,
It just feels different.
Yeah, it feels different.
Yeah. Is it? It's just because you're older, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So last year you played quarterback, and how come you decided not to play quarterback this year?
One, because I didn't really feel I was that good at it. to be honest. And like Josh trained a lot at it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I would always go out catching with him and he'd show me routes. So I was like, I'll try out tight end and see what happens. And I'm kind of liking it better than because last year I did not know what was going on. Like, I only knew power and zone. I was like, all right, cool. Then also the sprint out. I didn't know what routes they were running, but I knew I had to sprint out. That's the only thing
Why
I
are
knew.
you telling me this now? I don't think you ever told me this.
I was like, oh, I'm a sophomore. Like, and then the one thing about football too is last year we didn't have like how like I know we lost, but still like walking out to that stadium.
Yeah, that's cool.
I did not have that last year. I remember like Coach Connor came in and like hyped us up. We were like, oh, I was like, all right, here we go. Like not thinking of it, but once I saw everything, I was like, oh snap.
Yeah,
this is for real.
Yeah.
Then like people lining up to out. Then like the whole student section being there.
Yeah.
Like last year we had like what half of the student section,
and
then this year it was in like a whole crowd. I was like, oh my god!
It just makes it so much better.
The atmosphere is just crazy.
Yeah.
I remember like I ran up to like the dude without a shirt on in front of the student section.
Oh yeah.
He was like, chest bump me. I like just jumped up and did it because I was like so hyped up.
Yeah, because you guys run all the way to the student section, right?
Yeah. They like come up to you and stuff and they're like slapping everybody. And you're just like, oh yeah, it's game day.
Now you're such a good wrestler. Did you ever think at some point that you wouldn't be playing football, or you like playing football?
I like playing football. I think freshman year was the only year I haven't played football.
Oh, you didn't play freshman year?
No, I did not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So my 8th grade year, I played as a corner, and I also was backup quarterback for TJ. Then on like my freshman year, I played football. I didn't play football, my bad.
Yeah.
And I missed it a lot.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Because Josh was playing football, Ben was playing football, and just like seeing like those dudes out there, like I missed it.
Yeah.
I like wanted to play.
Did you go to the games and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
And that probably had made it worse too.
Oh yeah. I was like I remember like being in the student section, like trying to figure out what the other team is doing, like looking at their plays and stuff. I'm like, oh, he's running a post. Oh, watch out, he's running like a little out route right there. And I just missed like putting on the pads and going out and hitting. Then like,
so why'd you decide to not do it freshman year?
I wanted to focus more on wrestling.
Okay.
But like wrestling's one of those sports, like if you play it all year long with no breaks, it gets tiring.
Yeah.
Like, tiring.
Yeah, because those are some long practices. You're talking about it. Yeah.
Like at least 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like in Sky,
constant movement.
Sky usually goes over about a half an hour.
Yeah. So you wanted to focus on wrestling. You did that your freshman year, and then you decided, you know what, I want to play football again.
Yeah. And I remember like coming in sophomore year, and like I didn't really tell anybody, like besides like the wrestling team, like, hey, I'm gonna go out for football, try it out.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's cool, go try it. And just like TJ looked at me like, you playing football? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. Like totally what? Like last year you told me like, nah, I'm gonna focus on wrestling. Try it. Then this year I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go out there and try.
And not only be out there, but be a quarterback.
Yeah, and be a quarterback. That was.
Who was I can't remember who the other quarterback was when we were out there.
It was me, Logan, TJ.
Logan, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was only us three. I felt so alone during like the warm ups because they would only like focus on TJ and Logan. I'd just be like, let me get like two balls.
Can I get a throw?
Yeah, I'll get like 2 throws, and Coach Krieger would be like, hey, switch.
We can't waste the reps.
Yeah.
I'm the kid that's not going to play on Friday.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of the first time I've like, because I did play biddy football. Like I played that peewee like tackle football.
Yeah.
That sophomore year was probably my first year. Like I wasn't like one of the dudes.
Oh, okay.
And like that kind of felt weird to me.
Yeah. Explain that a little bit, because that can be growing up and being like the biggest kid or the best kid, and sometimes that stops happening. So what like your sophomore year? That was when you felt that. What was that feeling like?
It was kind of like I was like kind of disappointed. Like I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
There was like, I always thought that I was like doing something wrong, but like I finally realized like I'm not doing anything wrong. Like I just need to keep working hard.
Yeah.
And like junior, senior year, I'll get some playing time.
Yeah.
But like sophomore year, like football, I was the dude. Like I played every position.
Mm-hmm.
Like pretty sure my 7th grade year, I was the quarterback and the nose guard
Oh, really?
for my last school. I remember they used to put me out there like, oh, just bear crawl through there. I'd be like, okay.
Wait, you didn't go to Perrysburg?
No.
Oh, wait. Well, let's go back then. When did you start going to Perrysburg?
Probably like at the start of the 4th quarter of my 7th grade year.
Okay. All right. So where'd you go before that?
Lake local schools, like right down the road.
Okay. So is that where you grew up? You were there for a while, or did you bounce around?
I lived in Perrysburg, like
Okay.
really like around the block from TJ.
Okay.
And my mom worked at Lake.
Okay.
She still works at Lake. She's been working there for I think like 15 years.
Uh-huh.
As long as I've been alive, 15, 16 years. And so I went to school with her every day because Lake doesn't have like how Perrysburg does. They have like high school, middle school, elementary, all connected.
Okay.
And then they like right down the street they had like another Wallbridge Elementary that I used to go to. They don't have it anymore. And I would just go to school with her. Then she would pick me. I would walk down to her office and we would head back home.
Okay.
Then 7th grade year, I transitioned over to Perrysburg.
Yeah.
Because like I knew a lot of the wrestlers.
Okay.
Because probably about 4th, 5th grade, I joined a club because my Lake cut their biddy program, cut their wrestling biddy program. So I need to like go somewhere to wrestle.
Yeah.
And then I went to BTW, and I remember that first. I got my butt kicked. I did not know where I was because like at Lake they did basic stuff.
Yeah.
And like I was like, all right, like I had like talent.
Yeah.
And I remember I got like 5th in the NBC, and I was like, oh I got 5th. But I was a short, fat kid in like a big kid weight class.
Yeah.
Because back then it was like, I think like 5th through 7th grade in the NBC. And like I was going 95 pounds as like something like real young, like 8 or something. And I went through there and like lost, got to 5th place. I remember I got headlocked by a girl.
Oh, no.
My dad got so mad.
Did he really?
I remember he'd like do 100 headlocks on me a day just so I know how to stop it. I was like, he'd be like, I would always ask like, can we stop now? Can we stop? No, just got thrown to your back.
Dang.
Then, like I started getting like confidence again. Like I went back to the Lake practice. Like I was kicking everybody's butts. I'm like, all right. I go to this BTW practice where this weird dude named Scotty Burnett's running.
Yeah.
And he's real nice to a couple guys, and some newcomers are coming in, don't know. And I just get train wrecked.
Yeah.
Dudes would like beat
It's
up on
different
me.
there, huh?
Oh yeah, like it's still like that. Like
Yeah.
you go in there, like BTW is like probably nationally famous for
Yeah.
being like one of those practices where you gotta bring your A game or you're gonna get pounded.
Yeah.
And then Scotty came up to me. He's like, oh, do you live in the Perrysburg area, right? I was like, yeah, I live with my 2 other brothers. Because he saw me, my brother Josh, and Ben.
Yeah.
There's 3 of us. And obviously Ben had the most talent out of all 3 of us. He's like, oh, just come to a Perrysburg biddy practice. We'll see what's up. And that's where I, like, met dudes from Perrysburg.
Okay.
That's where I, like, do you know AJ Parrish?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I met him. I met Zane Ramsey, Winton. Well, Winton didn't come till like middle school, but like Nick Hartzell.
Okay.
Nick Hartzell was a big one.
Yeah.
Because that's where I learned he lived right down the street from me. Then he drove us to practices. That's how I got real close with them for a while. And
So after going to those practices, then is that when you told your parents like, hey, I want to go to Perrysburg?
yeah, like 7th grade year, it was just like we just ended wrestling season. I didn't qualify for state. My brother Josh went to state. I think he went 2-2 and got eliminated. And that's when me and Josh decided that we wanted to go to Perrysburg.
Oh, you both decided?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes me, Josh, Tatum, Ben, and my sister Tatum then went to Perrysburg after the year was finished, but me and Josh like left immediately.
Oh, wow.
I remember my first day was also one of those junior high pep
rallies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing now I know Mr. Beck, like these teachers I don't know.
Yeah.
Just start riding their bikes around here, like honking horns and stuff. I also remember I forget his name, but he was like a study hall teacher.
Uh-huh.
And I was told that you could be on your phone at Perrysburg Junior High. And so
By one of your other friends?
Yeah.
Of course.
Like AJ Parrish was like, oh yeah, you can be on your phone. And I was like, all right. So I'm a new kid. I don't know. Like I don't have homework yet. Like it's the fourth quarter. I'm like trying to still get grooving.
Yeah.
And I'm on my phone playing. And I don't think the study hall teacher knows I'm a new kid. Comes up and he just, what are you doing on your phone? Oh, I'm sending you to the principal's office. You're getting a detention. I'm suspending you. All this. And I'm like, what? Totally scared. I was like, what? He sent me to the principal's office, and Mr. Christie's like, who yelled at you? I was like, he yelled at me. I didn't know. I was told I could be on my phone. I remember I had to stay there, and 10 minutes later, the teacher comes by. He's like, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were a new student. I should have told you. I was like, so awkward. I was like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
He ended up being a really cool teacher.
Yeah.
I remember going through middle school, loving him. Kids hated him.
Not enough to remember his name, though.
Oh, no, not that.
That's all right. So Perrysburg Wrestling got you to come to Perrysburg.
Yeah.
Is your family like a big wrestling family?
We weren't, actually. No. My dad never wrestled. He played football. My family's a big football family.
Okay.
Obviously TJ.
Yeah.
Then we have
He's your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have two other cousins down in Kentucky that are, I know one has D1 offers, and then his younger brother also he's my grade, also playing varsity.
Okay.
Getting snaps.
Nice.
And he's also getting looked at. I know that. He's still getting D2, D3, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And my grandpa, he played, I think he went to a training camp for the Browns and stuff. So my dad and my grandpa and my whole family played football. We all played football. That's what got me to play biddy tackle, where my friends at Lake were playing flag football and all that. And I was starting to play tackle because I remember I was I want to play tackle. I'm not doing this flag football anymore.
Yeah.
Because the one year I did flag football, my dad just told me tackle him. He goes, tackle him.
Wait, that's not how that works.
It was so funny because we started playing this team and they started getting real cocky because they had these players that would use their hips and stuff and move away. They were real good at flag football. And my dad started getting so aggravated because their coaches were blasting "We Are the Champions" on speakers and stuff. And so my dad just looked at me and he goes, "Go tackle him. I'm done."
Jeez. Did you?
I remember I blitzed. This kid started using. I just boomed him, sticked him, and the ref just.
Oh my!
Can't
God.
tackle him. I'm Dad, do it. Dad. He's like, yeah. I didn't tell you that.
Did I do a good job?
He's like, I didn't tell you anything. He's like, God, come on, Myles. You need to grab the flag.
Man, he threw you under the bus then.
He was I remember my teammates were patting me on the back, yeah, kid, Myles, yeah. We got all hyped. We were yeah. Their coaches were oh, you can't tackle. I think there's a kid that on that team, the quarterback that I tackled. I'm pretty sure he's still playing flag football to this day.
Yeah. Some people love that, man.
Yeah.
Some people. I coached my son. I think 3 times. I coached his little teams, and it's fun for a little bit, but eventually, you want to play flag football or tackle football.
Yeah, I got to that age where I want to play tackle football.
Yeah.
And do you know Mommy Bay Turf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started playing for them down in Oregon.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the local team. And I remember when they were started roll calling, like they said Takats, and everyone goes TJ Takats, like TJ. You related TJ? I was like, yeah, and that was like the first time ever. Like nowadays, like, oh, you're TJ? Yeah, I'm TJ's cousin. Yeah. But like that
No
was
one be
like
like,
the
hey,
first time.
no one goes, TJ, oh, you're Myles' cousin? No one ever does that?
I don't think so. Everybody's, oh, you're TJ's cousin? I'm like, oh, I'm that cousin.
Like, oh, Myles, the Sonic the Hedgehog?
Sometimes I've been
sidekick?
called Wrigley's cousin. I'm like, oh, she's even younger than me.
So my sister is 1 grade below me when we were in high school, and she used to get so mad. She would, because everyone would be like, oh, look, it's Lorenzo's sister. Or someone would come up to her. One time she told me the story. She said, yeah, someone came up to me and was like, hey, you'll never guess what Lorenzo did. And she just yelled, probably something funny, huh? And then he was like, okay, sorry.
I don't know. Sometimes
I'm going to start calling you Wrigley's cousin.
I guess but there's one where people come up to me. They're like, "Are you Josh's brother?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm Josh is my brother. Josh is my
Yeah,
brother."
yeah.
And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Josh is my brother." Or like my parents be like, "Oh, you look like Josh." I'm like, "Nah, Josh look like me. Josh look like
Yeah,
me."
keep it straight.
Yeah, keep it straight. I'm the oldest here, but
So you're come from a football family, and now you and your brother. Do both your brothers wrestle?
yeah.
Yeah. So now you guys are
Ba-
playing football and wrestling.
Yeah. And we also tried out for basketball. The first year, so when I got into wrestling, I went out for basketball. And this coach, I was like 7, 8, around that age. And this coach was like, I was like trying out for basketball for like my lake
Yeah.
little kids basketball.
Yeah.
And this coach like, I'm all serious, and like, I'm calling you for travels, double dribbling. I swear, I will cut you from this team. All this, and my dad was like having none of it. Just grabbed our hands and walked out. And we saw, so like the Lake's head wrestling coach went to high school with my dad.
Oh, nice.
So they saw each other in the hallway, said hi. He's like, my dad was like telling him about the coach. He's like, oh, bring him into the wrestling room, see what happens. And I remember that first practice, like it felt like we
Yeah, a
started
lot of fun, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like then I'm a left-handed stance. Like you can have like it's the lead leg, and I'm a lefty, and they were showing it like right-handed stance, and I remember like I put right and it just didn't feel right. Then I tried left. I was like, oh.
Does that have any advantage? Because I would imagine, is there as many lefties as righties, or is it?
No, there's a lot
all
more.
righties.
Yeah, and Sky always says it's an advantage.
Is it?
Yeah, because my leg is out in front where their leg is, and they're like,
Oh, okay.
so they're like used to wrestling. Since there's so many right-handed wrestlers, they're
Yeah.
used to wrestling. But when they face a lefty, they're like, oh, like they have to switch some things up because they can't usually get to the right leg so easily.
And I feel like for you going against righties, you go against them all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And I know how to like handle them, like how to move their feet well.
Yeah.
Like I know how to get their left leg, and I know how to like fake to their left that they automatically pull it all the way back, so I could just immediately get their.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
But
So,
yeah,
So when you first started, you lefty was the way to go.
yeah, lefty. I still am lefty.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I go righty. Like I've learned to go in like both.
Yeah,
sides.
because I was going to ask you that because there's some fighters who can do that.
Yeah.
Who would be a southpaw and then just bounce back and forth a little bit. They're more comfortable with one, but
Yeah. Like I'm more comfortable, but I know like if I needed to go right, I could go right.
yeah.
Because that's when like 7th, 8th grade year going into 8th grade, this guy was like, yeah, you guys should probably learn both ways just in case like something happens and you need to go right-handed.
Yeah.
Or like you need to wrestle a special wrestler that knows like only what to do with like left-handed.
Yeah.
And right-handed just in case.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there scouting in wrestling? Like
All the
there
time.
is there? Like if you're going against, say, you're in districts or whatever, and you're going against this person, like is there? Do you guys watch film? Is there what?
Oh,
what is it?
no, not really like that. Like
Yeah.
I can watch I can see like there's videos on YouTube
Yeah.
that you could like watch their matches, like what moves are they good at, what
Yeah.
you can like there's that, and also like my matches like I did this move, how I should like be doing this.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, like
Self scouting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like sometimes I need to like sometimes I know the big issue was a scramble is like when you get into a wrestling where you're just rolling around and you're just going. And a scramble, I had like a leg down low where I needed to get it high, and I'm like I would train to get it high.
Okay. So you watch yourself to get better.
Yeah.
Just like we do for football. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you? Because right now you are, and I would assume it's the same. You're number 2 in your weight class.
Yeah.
Right now in the state.
Yeah.
When did you think to yourself like, oh, I'm really good at this wrestling?
My freshman year, I was confident. I came in confident, like, oh, I'm the best. Like they're underrating me. I'm gonna go in there and kill people. Because my eighth grade year, I was pinning people.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have like most wins. I went undefeated in my 8th grade year. I like have most wins at PHS, the
junior high.
Yeah, the junior high, the most pins.
Yeah.
And like I started seeing it like, oh, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
But my parents saw that way earlier. Like I saw, like in 6th grade, I did not like wrestling. Mm. I remember like telling my parents, I'm a football player. I'm a baseball player. I'm all this. I do not wrestle. I'm not. My parents like, fine, then go to a camp. If you get your butt whooped, then go get your butt whooped.
Yeah.
And like I went out there, and next, like obviously I'm doing well, and I'm just like, I hate this, because like wrestling camps are Monday through Thursday, 3 sessions for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And like all of them have live wrestling. It's where basically like you get another guy and you're going to like a full match, or like you're wrestling each other for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Like this year, I think the longest we did in high school was we went 30 minutes with one dude.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that.
30 minutes.
It was me and Winton, and we were going hard.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And there were some practices like we're the number 1 conditioned team in the state.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. No, like that's the one advantage that like I know for a fact no one can handle.
Yeah.
Like, and like, but there were some practices like I can't get up. Like I need to be like I remember like me and Wynn both needed to be like we were holding each other up. And there's also like times where we're getting like angry at each other.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Like there's some times where like we're pushing something like maybe I don't know, maybe a punch or two was thrown. We're not trying to say anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's all good. Like at the end of the day, we're slapping each other's hands.
Oh,
like,
sure.
It's all
Yeah,
good. It's all
teammates.
good. Yeah.
So let's go back. When did you said your parents saw it earlier than you? Besides saying freshman year? So let's go back to your freshman year. You said, "Hey, I'm the best." Whatever. What happened that freshman year? How was your freshman?
So my freshman year, I did not do. As good as I thought.
So did that bring you down to earth a little bit?
Yeah, it brought me down a lot. I was like, because like it kind of like I caught mono and I didn't know.
Oh.
So I like went to a few matches like before, like we only did like duels and stuff. Then the first big tournament we have, it's Brecksville. Mm-hmm. And that's like Brecksville's like one of the top competitors in the state, like one of the powerhouse. And it was the Brecksville tournament, so like teams from all over coming in, like even Pennsylvania was coming in.
Yeah.
And I got sick that week, like really sick, like where I could barely walk.
Oh wow.
And I didn't know what's going on. So I went to that tournament. I went 0-2. Lost my first 2 matches. First time ever done that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, snap. I did not know. And they were both matches that I could have won.
Yeah.
I could definitely have won. I remember then that whole year, like I thought I was getting better, but I wasn't. Like it kind of felt like I just kept like losing matches I should win and barely winning matches that I should be thumping the kid.
Yeah.
And, like obviously, like I had a winning season. I think I went like 25-15.
Okay.
But like my dad, like what's going on with him?
Yeah.
And I remember I almost fought one of my teammates because he came up to me and he was like, how is from being the best wrestler in 8th grade to being the worst wrestler this year? I was like, dude, I warned him. I was like, dude, step away right now. And he was like, I was just joking. I'm sorry. But that was like the strangest feeling.
Yeah.
Then like probably before the mommy duel, like end of the season, they told me like I had like side effects of mono. Like it's starting to get better, but you still have mono.
Oh.
And I was like, what? Like, oh wow. And like that made sense.
Yeah.
Because that freshman year, like it felt like I went in there because I was doing preseason tournaments and like winning.
Yeah.
And then I went into like freshman year and it felt like I was Superman getting my powers drained. Like something happened.
Yeah.
Like I don't have I don't have my speed. I don't have my strength. I don't have like my mobility. And I did not know what was going on. Mm-hmm. And then district rolls around. Sectional. Well, I should probably go to league. Let's start there. I'm getting ahead of myself. League comes around, and I'm facing Cam Dieter from Bowling Green. And like I've been told, like Cam comes to BTW practice. We went back and forth all the time because when you're wrestling, like you're tired from drilling, and you're just going back and forth wrestling hard. And Sky's like next thing you know, Sky's like, "Let's go, Myles!" Like coming, like where he's like me to this pole, like he's real close.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh snap, I gotta go. Then like if you don't go hard, then he's like, "Come on, what are you doing?" And then I'm going, but then I'm like, at first I'm like, I don't know if I can get this dude. This is gonna be challenging. And everybody's telling me you can get him. That year, all of us were in the finals.
Oh, really?
I literally could probably find a picture on my phone where it was all of us lined up.
Yeah.
Versus like the whole NLL. It was basically like a dual meet. It was like Perrysburg versus the best of the NLL.
Yeah.
And I remember our 106 was Ryan Avalos. Great match. He beat this kid that has been beating him all year. I think he like beat him like 2-3 times. And Ryan came out, pinned him. Yeah. And like the kid was like, "Oh, I broke my leg," or like I pulled a hammy. I forget what he's. But I just remember our whole thing fired up.
Yeah.
Then our 13, because I was going 120. Our 13-pounder came out, surprised the world again. So I was like, going into the match, I was like, "Oh, all right, let's go, let's get this." I went into the match. He gets the first takedown, and I'm just like, "Oh, come on!" Then I get a takedown, and I get up and I get a takedown. I'm like, "Oh, I can win this."
Yeah.
Then we start going back and forth. He wins the match, and I am like, I'm just sitting like you can probably find a picture of me sitting on my knees like, oh. Then I look at my coach. I'm like, pat my chest. And I remember I shake his hand, and there are moments in wrestling where, like, wrestling like an individual sport, unlike football, you're out there. It's you versus him. You lost, not him. And like sometimes it's very emotional. And I got off and I started crying. I was like, oh, my dad came out. It's fine. You just win it next year. So then sophomore year, we get to sectional. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. I lose to a kid that I never should have lost to. Yeah. Again, one of those matches. I beat him at the beginning of the season when obviously Dan Mono. Lose to him at sectionals. I hate that kid. He was from Whitmer. I hate Whitmer. I have a bad reputation with it. Yeah. Like, cool dudes. Like there's like cool dudes. But like, there was matches where I was like, oh, I should be him.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Like I'm cool with the dudes from Whitmer, but like there were some matches like, But, then it was like my first match I lost to the kid from Whitmer, and then I come back. I am in the third place match from the kid from Oregon, and I'm like, all right, time to make a comeback here now. I've never beaten this kid. I faced him once, and I faced him at BTW practice, beat him at BTW, lost to him in a real match. Yeah. And I was like, oh, come on, I gotta beat this dude. I remember beating him and flexing. And that was the worst mistake. I still get trashed on.
Do you really?
Oh, I remember Joey was wrestling for sectional first place at the time. Yeah. And our coach goes, "You got to celebrate when you win harder than Myles just celebrated for third."
For third?
Yeah. I was like, "Let's go!" And my coach, and like all the fans were like, "Oh, yeah." like clapping and stuff. I was only happy because I beat that kid.
For third.
Like, people are like, why are you celebrating you got there? I'm like, oh, I beat the kid I never beat before.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And they're like, dude, you can't be flexing. Then, like, districts week starts coming up. I don't know the kids I have. I don't know where I stand. And I'm kind of like easy, like kind of queasy. I'm like, oh, going into this, like, oh, geez. I go in there and I win my first match. I can get I can have a chance to go to state. I can have a chance to turn this whole season around, go to state, shock everybody. And first match, like I was told, easy match. This kid, I think he was like 10 and 15 at the time.
Yeah.
He didn't have a high. Lose to him. Get pinned. Just like the disappointment on people's faces. Like my dad was he was like,
Do you feel worse? Do you feel worse like when you lose, especially when you shouldn't? Do you feel worse like, man, I lost, or like, man, I disappointed my parents?
it's more of like it's kind of both. Like you feel like, oh, I lost. Like, dang, I can't. Like then like you look over at your parents and they're like, it's okay,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh.
I can tell. I think I phrased that poorly. I don't think your parents are ever disappointed in
Yeah.
you, right? But I think when it's a sport like that and you look up at them, you know they're upset that you lost. They're not upset at you because you lost.
Yeah.
You know, except when you got headlocked.
Oh yeah, he got so mad.
But I think it's important to know that most parents are disappointed at the situation.
Yeah.
And not with you or with whoever their kid is.
I remember I came back, I won my next one, then I lost again.
Yeah.
No, I won my next two, then I lost to a kid who was barely. I just remember looking up at the scoreboard again on my, like, I was kind of in like a catcher's position. I look at my coaches, they're like heads are down. They're like, oh, we could have got him. And I was like, I'm going to the state next year.
Yeah.
I'm punching my ticket next year.
And that's this year, right?
Yeah, that was the sophomore year.
Yeah.
I was like, dang. And then just remember, I didn't talk to my parents. I didn't talk to my teammates. I remember walking out, going to the coach's room. Because, like, there was, like, there's the locker room.
At Perrysburg you're talking about?
Yeah, at the Perrysburg High School. Because districts were at Perrysburg.
Okay.
My freshman year and sophomore. Like, there's a locker room, then there's a coach's room. And I just remember sitting down and just, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Then obviously the next week comes around for state. I don't go to practice because, like, we're not required to. You don't go to state, you don't go to practice. I remember that day they called all wrestlers to come down. And I just look in the room. I see Blake Sato, Joey. Joey possibly could have won the championship, I believe. He was going against this kid from Elyria, who I think he would have beat.
Yeah.
I think Joey would have beat him. And then all my other dudes, like Noah Ewan, all those dudes, and they didn't make it. The state got canceled.
Yeah. Because of COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one time I saw my teammate Blake Sayo, who was captain at the time.
And he's the one going to Brown?
Yeah, he was like looking over anybody. He placed his 3 years, freshman, sophomore, junior. That's his senior year.
Yeah.
Shawnee, there's a dude named Shawnee. I think you know him. I think he played football.
What's his name?
Like Shandy Ons or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shandy. Yeah.
Made it, like, pretty sure he joined, like, freshman year.
Yeah.
Made it to state, and he joined late. I don't know if
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
did join late, yeah.
Yeah, he made it to state, and they told us it was canceled. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, they were so disappointed. Like, they were upset. And at that time, I don't think they canceled it. I think they said,
Maybe
like,
postponed it.
Postponed it.
Yeah.
And at that time, Joey Blaze was cutting a lot of weight, so he was eating. And I was just like, oh, this sucks. But, like, the longer you knew, like, the longer it was postponed, the more the chances it would be canceled.
Yeah.
Then the day it got canceled, I got a text in the group chat. State got canceled.
Yeah.
And we were like, I did not know what to think. I was like, oh my. And Joey came over, gave him a hug, like, hey, it's all good, it's all good. Go win a title next year. You got this. And I felt bad for the seniors.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Shondi and Blake Sayo were both the two dudes that won. Blake was going up against a dude that was really good.
Yeah.
I think last year he was a senior. The same dude. Last year he was a senior. No, this year he was a senior. He's at Oklahoma now.
Oh, wow.
Scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Blake was trained, he was trained to beat this dude.
Yeah.
He could have, I believe he could have beat him.
Yeah.
In the state finals, too. Get his first title. And he placed freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year he was a qualifier.
Yeah.
But it got canceled. Joey could have had a chance to win. And Shondi, I just want him to go there and experience it.
Yeah.
Because the way Scotty does, with football was kind of different because they we mentioned state championships, but Scotty and Dort, we gotta get that title.
Yeah.
We will win that
Well,
title.
Perrysburg has been such a good program for 15 years. It's been really good. So that's what, when you get to a certain point, that's what you strive for every year. Obviously, for us, we want to win a state championship in football. But when you're expected to, or you're number 2 in the state now, so you're expected to be there.
Yeah.
Then it's for everything just to shut down. Or when you lose, or it hurts a lot more.
Yeah, it was I've been told go get that title ever since I was at Perrysburg Biddy.
Yeah.
Go get that title.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mario and Moises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember just seeing them and Sky being you can be like them. They work hard. They trusted the process.
Yeah.
They trust in their coaches. They trust in their parents. They trust in their teammates. They got this. Just believe you can do it. Work hard.
Yeah.
And my whole life I've been told that. And kind of got off track there.
That's all right. That's all right.
But,
I think for him, Scotty, to say that, obviously you strive for that and you keep going, but it's just a constant reminder because as you're wrestling and doing BTW, or if it's during season and you're just focused on that one thing, but ultimately there's this goal. This is the main goal we're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
And to talk about this year, like we said before, you're number 2 right now at what weight class?
165.
Okay, 165. And tell me that story about the guy who's number 1 and what he sent you.
Oh, the dude, he's been texting people and sending stuff to me and my fan and Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm coming for you, all this stuff. I'm what? Totally confused.
Yeah, it's so weird to me that's happening.
Yeah. I was okay. And yeah.
But you guys are, as a team, you're supposed to do really well, right?
We're number 2. And right now, of course, is number 1 is St. Ed's.
Yeah.
They've been on top for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's we've been also you guys can beat the Eds, you guys can beat the Wadsworth, you guys can beat the Massillon Perrys. You just gotta work hard, you gotta do it. Come on. And I think if everybody does their job, everybody does what they're supposed to. We got the wrestlers, we got the talent.
Yeah.
We do the work. I think we got the title.
Yeah.
Because at state, there's two. You have team state, then you have individual state, and I think we can win both.
Yeah.
I think we can win both.
That's good.
Yeah, just by the wrestlers, we have the dudes that are coming back that are also bigger, stronger, faster now.
We just need a heavyweight, apparently. It sounds
We need heavier weights. If we get heavier weights, I think we got if Max comes out.
I know. I asked him. He kind of said no this past week.
I know. He said no to me too. I was
Did he really?
Yeah. I was dude, you gotta come out. You gotta come out. And I keep telling these dudes, I'm hey, you come out. You can get that. You can get that gold medal. They're maybe, I don't know.
Max's mom has been talking to Garrett and our trainer and said he was telling me a story that she went to was are you telling Max he needs to wrestle? And he's yeah. She's good, because he does. He needs to wrestle.
Yeah, I wrestling. I think can help with football, and football helps with wrestling. To be honest, those dudes out there are kind of like me my freshman year. I'm a wrestler. there's also some dudes that are like Max. They're coming out right from the football team, but
I wish some of those dudes that wrestle now that played football still played football.
yeah,
You know, like Allenson. I like Allenson.
yeah, Allenson.
Even his brother or AJ Parrish was with us for a while in the
Yeah.
summer doing the weightlifting and stuff. You know.
Yeah, then like obviously preseason wrestling came
Yeah.
along. That was the one thing last year that like this last football season, all the preseason wrestlings.
Is that your phone?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Josh.
Pick it up. Put him on. Put it on speaker.
Oh, it died out. It died out.
Oh.
I was gonna do it. I was like, Josh, you on a podcast? He's gonna be like, oh, what? But I remember, like USA Wrestling canceling
Yeah.
all summer, like freestyle. There's like multiple wrestling styles, like different rules, different like freestyle wrestling. Like I can suplex somebody,
Yeah.
and get 5 points for it.
Oh, okay.
Like feet to back. Like if I take them to their back from their feet, that's 4 points. If I put their feet over their head, that's 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's tech falls 10, and every time they go across their back, that's 2 points for me.
Oh wow.
And Greco is you're not allowed to touch the legs. Only
Oh,
throws.
really?
Only throws.
Is that
Same
is
rule.
that what they do in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Greco.
Well, they do both in the Olympics.
Oh, okay.
There's both. But I think the main one is like freestyle, like Gable Stevenson.
Yeah.
He won the freestyle.
Okay.
And that was crazy match. Crazy.
Is that one? I remember seeing one. I don't know who or what, where they won it like the last few
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, that was
it?
him.
Okay.
Yeah, big dude.
Yeah.
He was goes to Minnesota.
Okay.
He's crazy. I've never seen anything like him. Like wrestlers are like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty young too. Like he's really young.
Is he?
Yeah. But back to like football. Yeah, preseason wrestling got all canceled.
Yeah.
Canceled.
Okay.
And so
This year?
the
Okay.
COVID year.
Oh, got it.
COVID
Okay.
year. And so it kind of gave me like, oh, there's not really wrestling practice.
Yeah.
Let's go get football.
Yeah.
Let's get football.
That helped you come back out too.
Yeah. And being one, like, I think what helped me was like being being backup JV quarterback. Like getting that feeling like, oh, I'm not as hot as I think I am. Then I remember first wrestling practice, I came out. I remember people were like, oh, what's up, Myles? Like, really didn't think. And I faced I forget his name. Like, he was real good. And he goes to Dundee, Michigan. No. I don't know. I don't remember those practices.
That's all right.
And my dad's like, you're drilling with him? Like he's pretty good. And I was like, oh, it's fine. We can just go.
Yeah.
And we start wrestling. And next thing you know, I'm beating him.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of smashing him. And people are like, oh, whoa, what's going on? Then season rolls around and I'm tearing it up. Like I'm pinning people. I think this year I got most pins on a wrestling team.
Oh, wow.
With 26. That was like 2 or 3 away from like the high school record.
Oh, wow.
And I think we got like kicked out of a tournament or something for like too many teams for like COVID or something.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were like did something bad.
Oh, no. We got kicked out, and I think if we went there, I would have got the record easily.
Yeah.
Like, that's like 10 more matches. And it was really cool because I started like grow like, oh, I'm pretty good. But that year was crazy because I'm cutting so much weight.
I mean, that's got to be so hard on you too, right?
Oh, it is. It's
like what were you wrestling at, and how much weight did you have to cut?
I was wrestling 126. So like at Christmas time, you get a 2-pound allowance.
Okay.
So like 26 turns to 28.
For all them cookies or what?
What?
For all them Christmas cookies?
Yeah. That didn't help me as much. But it like 2 pound, like 26 turns to 28. Like this year, it'll be like 165 turns to 167.
Okay.
And I was weighing like walking around like 148.
So you had to cut like 20 pounds?
Yeah, I was doing crazy.
My God. So why? So at the beginning of the year, you're wrestling this weight and it doesn't change throughout the year?
So like so there's like an alpha. Like you got to make the weight, then you got to like pee in a cup. and I did all those things. And I was kind of light. I was lighter at that time. I was like 44, 43. I was lighter, and I was cutting the weight. I was getting down there, and like then I peed in a cup. Everything was good. They pinch your body to see how much body fat they had on you. I think I had like some low amount. I had.
That seems real scientific. You're like, hey, come here. Let me just pinch your body.
Yeah, they pinch it like with these numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Garrett was there.
Okay.
Like, you can ask Garrett. I know my numbers were down. Like it was.
Were they worried?
No, I don't think they were worried. I think they were just like, whoa,
Yeah.
how this dude pee in a cup.
There's no water in his body.
Yeah. But we went through it. Well, we got cleanly. Then, like as you start, like as time goes, you start getting bigger and bigger, and that's what was happening to me.
Okay.
And that's like my weight class. And I just had to cut. It was about 20 pounds.
What do you
every
do
week.
to cut weight?
So at the beginning, like you have energy. Like the one thing I learned is like you have energy at the beginning of the week, and like low energy at the end of the week. You should not have high energy at the end of the week. And I would try to get as much pounds. Like I was kind of like 8 pounds a day.
And what are you doing? Like running?
Oh
like...
yeah, running, practicing with sweatshirts, sweatpants, like tucked in with headgear. Headgear adds another pound, so you get another head sweat. And I would always feel my head like this, like make sure I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And then like I would go for a run, jump some rope, stay at like.
And not eat?
No, you would eat like healthy things.
Okay, yeah.
Like I ate lots of salads.
Yeah.
And cucumbers were my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. And water, like beginning of the week, you get a bottle of water for a little day.
Yeah.
Then it slowly gets down to where you're not drinking the night before.
Well, that's crazy.
Like,
just to make the weight.
Like before practice, I was allowed, I forget what, but it was low amount.
A thimble of water?
Yeah, something like that. It was like maybe thimble. That would have been great. Like, geez.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then before practice, no more water.
Yeah.
Like right before practice, like once practice started, you're not allowed to have water for the rest of the night.
So when you weigh in for, let's say, a tournament, when do you weigh in? You sacrificed. You're down to whatever weight you got to be in. When do you wrestle after that?
So
Is it the same day?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So So I weigh in. I get about an hour till warm ups.
Yeah.
I hope like an hour. Like
Yeah.
an hour would like
That'd be great.
I hope. Yeah. Like sometimes you start like 30 minutes later, which I don't really like. And I would drink water. Like first thing I would do is drink water and Pedialyte.
Yeah.
Drink one of those two. Keep going back and forth until my stomach starts feeling it. Then I would eat a little something salty.
Yeah.
Like pretzels. And then I start go warm up, then come back, start drinking my Gatorade, all my stuff, start eating like peanut butter and jellies.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite after weighing, so those hit different.
Yeah.
Those peanut butter jelly pockets.
Oh, the frozen ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Uncrustables?
Those. Yeah, Uncrustables.
okay.
I love those. Those are sweet. And
so my kids used to get them and they didn't eat them a lot, and I would put them in a toaster. I like putting them in a toaster.
Really?
So it's hot on the outside and still cold in the middle. It's good.
Oh.
It's good. Try that.
all right. But it would be like then they would go by weight classes. Mm-hmm. So like for tournaments, like 106s are like you would get like for individual tournaments, you get your name on a bracket.
Yeah.
And then you get a bout number. And it would be like bouts number 4s on mat 3.
Oh,
and then
okay.
you would go to that mat, you would get, and they would show you when you're in the hole. In the hole, like once you start seeing start seeing the weights go from like 106 to 113 to 120, I start warming up.
Okay.
I would start jump roping, sprinting down the hallway. Like Scotty emphasizes that we start sweating before our match.
Oh, okay.
And I would have my own routine. I would put music in, jump rope for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then I would sprint. I would do like 4 sprints back and forth. Then I would start getting into this mindset where I start getting crazy. I got like
I can see you, like, maybe some people might like, no, I don't know if Myles can get crazy, but I can see you that you might be you're definitely a different wrestler than you are a football player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I wrestle, like, I know, like, sometimes in football, like, I'm like,
You're hesitant because you
hesitant.
might not know everything.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
But, like, for wrestling, I know what I can do.
Yeah.
Like, I know my skills.
You're
I know-
confident in
yeah,
yourself.
And I got to this mode where I would, I want to chop this dude's head off. And my teammates kind of make fun of me because I gotta admit, like, before the match, I start punching air. Like, I would, like, "Ugh." And my teammates would be like, yo, what's this man doing?
Yeah.
Calm down. And, like,
That's good. That's good that you can turn that on.
But the best part was, like, this guy would always, like, get ready, get hyped up. Like, it's your match. It's game time.
Yeah.
And Scotty, before the match, for all of us. So, like, I would do that. Then, like, I'd fold all my clothes.
Yeah.
That kept me at ease. I don't know why, but
Hey,
like,
whatever, yeah.
Like I'm in the hole. So like now, like I would do all that. Then they would like about 20 Myles Takats versus
Whoever.
Whoever, and I'm in the hole. I would take off my shorts, pull my shirt up, and put my singlet up, and put my sweatshirt back on. Because my family, bought the whole team Perrysburg wrestling sweatshirts, like kind of warm ups. And I would take off my sweatpants, my shorts, have my singlet, still have my music in, and I would just be like jumping around.
Yeah.
This guy like, oh, you got this, just know what you got,
Yeah.
Then like I'm on deck, take off everything but my shirt. So I'm in like, and put out my music, put on my headgear. Then when they call my name, take off my shirt. I'd fold it, put it on right next to my parents because they would like sit front row.
Yeah.
Or like some tournaments, my parents weren't there, so I'd put it right underneath the coaches' chairs.
Yeah.
And with my water, because wrestling, like you don't get water during it, but like sometimes, like if a dude's injured or
You get a little time.
and this guy would be like, all right, you got this. Wind up and slap you twice. like I don't feel anything.
Yeah,
Like at the pepper, like I got adrenaline going. I'm not feeling those punches. I am feeling that slap. It is crazy. Sometimes Scotty wouldn't slap me because I would get real hyped up. And when I start getting like real hyped up, I start going like go.
It's too much?
Yeah, too much. And Scotty's like, calm down. Hey, just do you. And go out there. I would say the same thing for every table too.
Yeah.
Because you have to go in, like check shirt. I would say, hi, Takats Myles. Because they always on the papers, they have Takats Myles.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Takats Myles? And they're like, Takats Myles. All right, you're good. Like when we had tournaments, like where people knew me and they're working the tables, like Takats Myles. I thought you were Myles Takats. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm rubbing my hands, I'm getting before. Then you step on the line and it's like go time. And then you're grabbing this dude. Like there's some matches where I grab a dude, I'm like, oh, I'm winning.
Oh, like right away you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm like, it's
okay.
game. It's
Yeah.
I have you.
Yeah.
Then there's also some matches where I'm like, all right, here we go. This dude is the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh, good.
one of those matches was when Perrysburg had a duel at home.
Uh-huh.
I think we were wrestling. I know Louisville. They had some really good kid at my weight. Perry, Maslin Perry, and some other school I forget. But Perry had a kid, Dulcie. I forget his first name, but I know he was ranked ahead of me. And Garrett Luthenheiser, they were D2, but he was number 1 at D2.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to face him first. And I'm facing this dude, and this dude, like, hand hard. So I'm like, all right, this dude is what people were saying.
Yeah.
And I just start pushing the pace. I just start going, because I know because that's, like, we're the most conditioned team, but I know I'm, like, I'm conditioned.
Really conditioned, yeah.
And so I'm pushing the pace. And Garrett... And we start going, and next thing you know, we're shooting, and he starts scoring, and I start scoring. We're going back and forth, and this kid starts dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. and I start going. He starts dying so much, like I could see it on his face, and my crowd's going crazy, and I'm like, I don't think parents were that. No, parents were allowed, and like it was so like. You can hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like most of the time, I can't hear it.
Yeah.
But like that year when like sometimes like Anthony Wayne duels, no parents allowed.
Yeah.
I remember I had to text my mom, bring me Subway. And I end up losing the match. I'm like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
But I remember I got into that kid's head.
Yeah.
Because I could see up in the stands, like he had a trash can. He was like puking.
Yeah.
Because I just pushed the pace. So I'm like, all right, shake it off. I got this Dulcie kid next.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at this dude. I'm like, this ain't him. And they're like, Dulcie? And he comes out. They're like, they're like, are you blah, like Andrew Dulcie? I don't know his first. And he was like, no, I'm like Mason Dulcie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got his little brother. Oh. I just remember grabbing him. I was like, oh, okay. This kid's done. This kid's done. Wow. I remember I got sweet pictures. I got some sweet pictures from that, man. Yeah. Oh, let me. I think I favorited them. Those are cool. Oh.
So who takes pictures? Just is it like a photographer around for the Perrysburg?
Yeah, like the photographer that we have for.
Oh, it's probably the same guy that does the basketball and football. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this is just audio, so no one can see these pictures right now, Myles.
I know. Oh, here's that Garrett Luthenheiser. That was me versus him.
Oh, okay.
That dude was so big. Then this is me after I pinned that kid, and like how cool of a photo that is, like with the crowd behind me.
Oh yeah, and I was hoping to see one where you're flexing. I want to see that one.
Oh, can't find that one.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Oh.
When this podcast goes out, everyone's gonna show up at football practice just flexing.
Yeah,
you get Myles. Let's get you a shirt. It's just you flexing, the silhouette of you. All right, Myles. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was great. You're a great talker. You're a really. I know wrestling's your deal, right? But like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I like your energy, especially on Saturday mornings when half the kids probably don't want to be there. It's great energy. I'm glad I'm able to coach you in tight ends this year. So, again, thanks for coming on the podcast.
No problem. Thanks.
Thanks to Myles Takats, Perrysburg student, for joining me on the podcast today. It was great to hear him talk about all the wrestling that he's done, playing football, not playing football, what brought him to Perrysburg. Myles was a great interview. So, thanks to Myles. Thanks to Real JP Multimedia, Big Daddy Graphics, Perrysburg Junior High STEM, and Cuttlefish Graphics for helping out the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.